Native of Franklin, Tennessee, joined the LSU football staff in August of 2013 and serves as LSU's Director of Player Personnel. He was promoted to Assistant Athletic Director earlier this year. He has degrees from Lipscomb in Tennessee. He previously served as Director of Recruiting and Player Personnel at Bowling Green. Spent a brief time at USC as well. LSU plays at Auburn Saturday at 5 p.m. Please give a warm Great New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club welcome to Austin Thomas of LSU.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I just want to thank Ken and the Greater New Orleans Quarterback Club for having me here today. As many of these gentlemen have said, it's an honor to be here with them as leaders in the sports community. So I really am privileged to be here to speak with you all today a little bit about LSU football. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give kind of a quick recap of our game versus Mississippi State last weekend. Then I'll kind of look ahead to the Auburn matchup, as Ken mentioned, this coming weekend. And then I'll kind of touch a little bit on recruiting and personnel and where we are. And then I'll open it up for questions here at the end. So kind of recapping Mississippi State, it was a good win for us Saturday night in Death Valley. Doesn't get much better than that. We wore the gold uniforms, as a lot of you guys have seen, to honor LSU. Gridiron gold in the 30s and 40s, so that was a unique treat for our players. They were really excited about it and created a lot of energy around our program. We did a good job of coming out early, scoring a bunch of points, getting on the board 23-3 going into halftime, really leading the game 23-6 with about 5 minutes to play. But kudos to Dan Mullen and Mississippi State. They did a great job of getting back into the game and creating some mismatches, and our guys did a great job of making plays when they needed to in order to win the game. But it really served as a teaching point for us. Really allowed us to go back and correct some mistakes and tell our guys, continue to press the issue of playing a full 60 minutes. Football is a game that, it's crazy and different things happen, but you got to play 60 minutes, you got to finish the game, you got to come out and keep the same mindset that you had in the first half and second half. So it was a good teaching tool for us and allowed us to, as coaches and a staff, to correct some of the things that we didn't do well in the game. It was great to get Leonard back in action. He missed last week's game, but he ran the ball well, ran the ball hard, about 150 yards, and he's just so key for us because he does so many things. He allows the offense to open up. He allowed the first-time quarterback, Danny Etling, to kind of settle in, make some throws, get comfortable with the offense. He completed 19 of 30 passes on the day, 200-something yards and a touchdown, did not turn the ball over, which anytime you can do that, it's going to give you a great chance to win a football game. Danny also completed 7 passes in the first half to different receivers. So what that lets us know as a staff is that he's going through his progressions. He's not pressing. He's taking what the defense gives him and letting the game come to him and just kind of making the plays when he needs to and putting us in position to be successful. We've continued to get great leadership out of some of our guys, whether it's Traven Durrell, senior from Brobridge, or Malachi Dupree, who played for Coach Curtis. Those guys have been great leaders. They're special football players and have provided a vision for our players as we continue to press forward throughout the season. The defense, they're playing at a really high level. 6 sacks last week, really did a good job of making plays when we needed them down the stretch. Arden Key is a great young player, a sophomore from Atlanta, defensive end, outside linebacker that's been really special off the edge for us. Very disruptive in the passing game. Has 5 sacks so far this year through 3 games, so he leads the SEC in sacks. So that's always good to, as a personnel guy, to watch those guys grow and be what you thought they could be when you recruited them out of high school. We continue to get great leadership on the defensive side of the ball. Some Louisiana guys, Kendall Beckwith, Tre'Davious White, they do a great job, along with Jamal Adams from Dallas. Providing leadership for us. Those guys are great leaders, they're great football players, and our team really looks up to them as we hit adverse times or when times are good for leadership, and they've done a great job of answering the bell. Moving forward, we play Auburn this week, as Ken said, at 5 o'clock on ESPN. It's a road game at night in the SEC. It's really why you choose to come to play football at LSU. In the best division of the best conference in college football. We're really excited about it. It's a great challenge. Overall, we have a lot of respect for Gus Malzahn and his staff. Auburn is a very talented football team. They've played, 2 top 10 teams so far, so don't let the 1-2 record fool you to this point. They're a good team. They have a lot of talent. Their coaches do a great job of scheming and game planning and putting their players in position to be successful. So we think the world of them, and we need to have a great week of preparation in order to go up there and be successful and achieve victory on Saturday night. Offensively, they're very multiple. They kind of run a spread, but they're actually pretty aggressive on the offensive line. They've got a tough offensive line, so they'll run some inside zone, they'll run some power, they'll run some things that kind of lull you to sleep, and then they'll kind of take a shot with a big play. They go up tempo, so they can try to create mismatches, and they do a really, really good job of kind of catching you off guard if you're not prepared. Defensively, Kevin Steele was a defensive coordinator at LSU last year, so we're very familiar with him and his style of play. It'll be good to go up there and challenge ourselves against him and his defense. He's one of the good people in college football. I have tremendous respect for him and wish him nothing but success. The first thing that jumps out at you on film about the Auburn defense is their defensive front. They're very talented, especially inside. They're very disruptive. Their defensive line does a great job of eating up blocks, allowing linebackers to make plays around the line of scrimmage and allowing guys to run free and really make plays in that defense. They're talented at defensive end. They get to the passer. We've got to do a great job as a unit, quarterbacks, running backs, offensive line, tight ends, of scheming and preventing those guys from disrupting our passing game because they've got a very talented defensive end group as well. The linebackers are your typical Auburn linebackers. They're very fast. They're very physical. They like to make plays, run sideline to sideline, so they present a great challenge for us in the run game and the pass game as well. The defensive backs, they're talented, they're young, but they have the ability to make plays, and we know that Coach Steele will put them in position to make plays, so we have to do, again, a great job of preparing and getting ourselves ready to go up there and executing in order to be successful against those guys. Lastly, moving into personnel and recruiting, which is kind of my area at LSU. I really like where we are. I think, as Ken said, I took over in 2013 and had a brief stint this spring at Southern California as an assistant athletic director as well, but I'm happy to be back in Louisiana, happy to be back at LSU. I think it's a special place, and the people make the place, and that's what I take away from LSU more than anything. I'm really proud of the success that we've had over the past 3 years. We've signed back-to-back top 5 recruiting classes for the first time in school history. LSU has been very successful recruiting and on the football field, but that's a big accomplishment for us. It really, as great as it is, it gets people excited, but it comes as a byproduct of all the research we do, all the hours we put in, and really, first and foremost, fulfilling our needs that we need as a football team. Fulfilling those needs and really allowing us to put players in position to be successful is what it's all about. And again, at the end of the day, some of the byproduct of that and identifying these top guys early and going out and getting these top guys early is what really gets people excited. But first and foremost, we have to address our needs as a football team. How you do that is it starts with a vision, and that's Coach Miles' vision. And he takes that vision and he kind of gives it to Coach Orgeron and myself. And then it's our job to take that vision and kind of implement it within our staff and create a plan, a detailed plan to go out and be at the forefront of college football, to continue to recruit at a high level, to continue to be on the cutting edge of technology and everything that's provided for us here at LSU. Our staff has done a great job. We lost some key pieces last year. Frank Wilson, who is now the head coach at UTSA, but Coach Miles, kudos to him for going out and signing some great coaches to come in here. Jabbar Jaluk, Damian Craig, really good recruiters, top-notch coaches, and we're really glad to have them on staff. It makes my job easier when you have a staff that really wants to get after it and recruit well. So, everything that we do is kind of like putting a puzzle together. It's, you take a piece here, you take a piece here, and it's like putting a vision in place. And you really, whether it's in-home visits, going out in the spring, going out in the fall to watch these high school games around the community, it's all done with intent and purpose and by design. And it's done in order to give us a strategic advantage in recruiting with the guys that we're actively after. So with that, just kind of want to wrap everything up and tell you guys again, thank you for having me. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks, guys.
The 2013 quarterback y'all have signed from the Mississippi, the St. Stanislaus, actually they played Brother Martin earlier this year. Brother Martin kind of put a lot of pressure on him and stuff. Did that give y'all any concern?
To be honest, I can't speak on any of our current prospects, so I can't give you any feedback on that in this setting until signing day. But Brother Martin has a great football team. They always do, and they're very competitive and very tough. And it was definitely a matchup that was good for us to see. That's it. Y'all made it easy for me. Thanks for having me.
It's easy when you